Welcome to another episode of Life in Colts Neck. My name is Heba Shaaban. I'm a local real estate agent in Colts Neck and the sponsor of a local website called parkbench.com/coltsneck. Today I have the pleasure of meeting Glen. Glen is the president of the Colts Neck Business Association, our community church, and the CSAV systems, a very, very nice business in Colts Neck. If you're living in Colts Neck, if you wanna move to Colts Neck, you don't wanna miss it, let's go meet Glen.
About 15 years ago, I was fairly new to town, and my neighbor, Sal Barbagawa, was a good friend, and we became best of friends, and he was very involved in the community. And one day I was at Perkins Restaurant in Colts Neck, and I walked by a table, and Sal, who was in his 70s at the time, and two other gentlemen, Mario and also Sil Lekwity, as well as Tony Abatello, were at a table, and they were talking about business, and they called me over. And I was kind of the young guy in the group and sat down with them, and they shared an idea of starting a business association in Colts Neck. And I told them at the time that I'd be happy to help them, but I was too busy to run anything, so I didn't want to get too involved, but I would be glad to talk to them about it. And that's where the Colts Neck Business Association started. The main concern was that our town was kind of business adverse. They really didn't want the business district to grow, the community leaders at the time. And our goal was to turn that around, to turn the perception business community around. And that's what the Colts Neck Business Association has been able to do so well over the last 15 years. It's very unique because it's not a chamber of commerce. It's a community and business organization. So what we're all about is helping the community. So, for example, little things that have been done as well as big things that have been done. You take on Route 18, coming on Route 18, there's never a sign for our exit on 34 for Colts Neck. Never said Colts Neck Business District or Colts Neck. We petitioned to the state to get a sign out there that says Colts Neck Business District exit 19A.
Oh,
and it took us years to get that sign out there, and letters and phone calls and so forth. And a lot of people don't even know that that sign all of a sudden popped up out of nowhere.
Right.
And I often get people say, oh, I know your exit. It's the one that says Business District. So those types of things really have an impact. And then there's many community things that we donate to, that we support. For example, the Lions Club is doing the new park for the blind children, and so we've helped to support that. We've had events where the police department, the fire department, the local churches all have come together to run events that bring people from outside town to share with them what we do in town and to share with them this beautiful business district that we have. We also have been able to help influence the growth in the business district, and everything from having input on signage and roadways and information of how we share business facilities that are available on Route 34 and Route 537. One of our big impacts we had is for many years there were multiple similar addresses on Route 34 and Route 537. You had the same numbers on Route 537 East as you had on Route 537 West. And what that meant to the community was often police calls or fire calls or emergency ambulance calls would go to the wrong address, because they'd get a call number 571 Route 537, and there were two of them. There was an east and a west, and nobody knew that because they forgot about the east and the west. There was also Route 34 north and south, so you had duplicate addresses throughout the whole town. Well, one of our big things was we petitioned to the United States Post Office to get those addresses changed. And we went back and forth for many years. You can't believe how difficult it was. It's common sense, right? That you shouldn't have duplicate addresses. And we were finally able to get the post office to agree to re-address the entire Route 34 and Route 537 corridor so that they didn't have double addresses. Years ago, there were a lot of missed calls and missed deliveries and missed appointments because people had duplicate addresses in Colts Neck, and we were able to clean that up in the business district. Working is also connecting, right? Helping people get to know people. And isn't that what business is really all about? So I love networking because it goes way beyond just business. For example, I happen to also be the president of the Colts Neck Community Church. So there's a lot of things we do there for our community here, our community at large, and even around the world. We literally send missionaries around the world. I also am very active in some of the local hospitals like the Bayshore Medical Center and other things of that nature, and other charities as well. But people don't even know or aren't aware of a lot of these things that are going on. Like, for example, Bayshore Medical Center is building a whole new emergency department there that is going to benefit Colts Neck dramatically because it brings emergency care right to our backyard. So telling people who are maybe in the Colts Neck Business Association that don't know anything about Colts Neck Community Church or don't know anything about Bayshore Medical Center and connecting them is what networking is all about. And networking is really the hub or the center core of doing business. When I get to meet you or I get to meet anyone else and we find out about what each other does, we can then work together. But if we don't know each other and we know what we do, how would we know how to interact? When people recognize things that happen from the organization, like a new business that'll come to town and they'll have some issues about maybe the space they need or the parking they need or the signage they need to put up, and we at the Colts Neck Business Association are able to help them, and then we do a grand opening and they're able to say this was in part because of the benefit of the Colts Neck Business Association. Those things are exciting. Or when you go to a charity event where the Colts Neck Business Association funded in some way, shape, or form, and you have a young child that comes up to you and says, thank you, because without this, we couldn't have this. Or for example, when we support the Grow Monmouth initiative, and they bring students from Asbury Park, and they bring students from Colts Neck to a farm in Wall Township, and those kids get to work together and learn how to eat healthy and be healthy and work with the land, and you get to watch those kids interacting together from two different communities. That's exciting and rewarding. These are the types of things that make you know your time as well. One more thought that just came to mind. Another very rewarding story was from one of our managers. We do a lot of work with hospitals and medical facilities, and so we recently put technology into a doctor's office where the doctor would use that technology to work on some of his cases. And one day, one of our managers was at the office helping that doctor with the technology. And the doctor said to my manager, you know what we're working on here? And she was like, no, I don't understand the medical aspect of it. And he said, well, you're helping me with may one day cure cancer. I'm working on this so that I can better supply medical care to my clients. And by this technology that you've installed and you're showing me how to use, you actually have a hand in helping their health issues. And when she came back, she had the biggest smile on her face. She was so excited. She said, you know what I heard today? And this is one of the things that makes our work so rewarding. And just to hear that from a client like a doctor who's working on something very serious like cancer, to know we had some small part in helping him to move him forward in his studies really means a lot to us. My business story is a long one because I've been in business since, some people say, since I was 7 years old. But I came from a background of business owners. My grandfather, my father, my brother were all business owners. They were in the dry cleaning business, actually. And when I got into college, I decided I wanted to own my own business. And during school, I developed a company that was very similar to the company I have now. And I built it up to a point where we probably had about 50 employees or 18 trucks on the road or so back in the 80s and 90s. And I decided, I was very young at the time and fairly successful, and decided to sell the businesses and go into something different. And so I did venture capital for a number of years and had fun with that. Some businesses we did okay with, some we didn't do so well with. And but during that time, I could spend more time at home and raise my children in nature. And then I started this company about 15 years ago, working part-time here in Colts Neck. A friend of mine asked if I would mind helping him start an audiovisual company. And I agreed, because I said just as long as I can do it a few hours a week and nothing else. And one thing led to another. It grew and it grew and it grew. And eventually I took some space in the building in front of us. Took about 500 square feet there, and I was in that building for several years and built a small team. And then about 10 years ago, I asked the team, what do you want to do? Do you want to grow this business? Do you want to stay the same? Do you want to do something different? And at the time, they felt they wanted to grow the business. So we started growing it. And about 4 years ago, I bought this building here in Colts Neck. It was a building I saw every day as I looked out my window. I said, one day I'd like to own that. And so we bought this building. We had about 12 employees at the time. And we felt that maybe one day we'd have 20 or 25. So we bought the building, figured that would be enough for my future, and that would be. And over the last 3 years or so, we tripled in size. So this building has now gotten very tight for us, and we've taken a second building across the street. So we've grown now to about 38 employees. And the thing I love most about CSAV and the business is the opportunity to watch young people grow and be successful and do great things with their lives. And so we do obviously employ people here, but I tell people all the time when we interview that don't come here for the paycheck, come here for the personal growth and get out of what we do. I know this might sound funny, but it's loving a lot, caring about what their lives, recognizing that when I give them a paycheck, it's much more than that. It resonates to take care of their families and take care of their future. So we constantly give our staff future opportunities to grow, whether it's training or going to events they want to go to or other opportunities. We have people here who started as administrative assistants and now are managers. And so we care a lot about them. We also, what I like to say, is so into them. We have a book policy. I love to give my employees books so they can read about better themselves. And when they're done reading a book, we'll discuss it and then I'll give them another one. We also encourage the staff to work together as a team. So we have several team building events during the year. We're very blessed in the sense that our customer relationships are very deep. So many of our exchanges are very involved and we're all based on relationships. So our clients don't call us up and say, can you sell me a box of this or a box of that? We go and visit our clients. We spend time with our clients. I was in a seminar years ago and a person told me, they said, where do you spend the bulk of your time relative to your clients? And they said that most of us spend 80% of the time with our worst clients and only 20% of the time with our best clients.
Right.
Because our best clients aren't complaining and they're just regularly doing things with us. They're paying their bills and they're doing all the things we want them to do. Many people think there's parameters of joining. I meet people in Colts Neck who are residents who are very interested in what we do, and they said, oh, we don't own a business in town, so we thought we couldn't join. So one of the things I like to say about the Colts Neck Business Association is the best $50 investment you could possibly make in yourself and your business. And I mean that because for the minimal cost of joining, you get so much promotion. We have our quarterly mailer, we have our map, we have our events, we have our website, we have our Facebook presence, and your business name gets out there all year for $50. But more importantly, you get to be a part of a community. And that community, I like to call it the community at large, because our members are in Middlesex County, Monmouth County, Ocean County, and even some outside that area. People who love to participate in what we're doing here because they feel the energy and the excitement. So we are all inclusive. We're not an exclusive group. And what I mean by that is whether you own a business, whether you just feel like you want to be a part of something bigger, right here at our Colts Neck Business Association, you can find a home. And all you have to do is go on our website or come to one of our general meetings and join. It only costs $50 a year, and you'll become a member. In today's world, we see things changing dramatically, right? And society always changes. One of the things I find very interesting about very young people these days, believe it or not, they're looking for community. That's why you don't see the big houses that they used to build as much anymore. You see more communities being built and developed. People in general have a place in their heart where they look for community. They want to interact with each other. They want to get to know each other. They want their children to play together. They want to work together. And that's how people who have differences come together in community. And that's what's made America a great place, right? That we have community and we can blend together. It's when people segregate themselves and keep them separate or bury themselves in their homes when we don't communicate and we don't get along well. So one of the beautiful things of being president of the business association, president of my own business, president of the church, those things excite me because I can bring all those together in one place. So the real benefit is that by being together in these organizations, we get to know each other in a unique way. We get to blend our cultures together, we get to blend our traditions together, we get to blend our love together and come together in a place where we can help each other and enjoy one another in a wholesome environment. And that's what makes people care, right? I mean, that's how our differences go away, when we find out what they are and we share them with each other. And let's face it, no one's perfect. We all have rough edges that we have to learn about, but those rough edges will never round out if we don't come together in community. And that's why I love the Colts Neck Business Association, because as president, I'm able to interact with the community on a regular basis. As a business owner, I'm able to interact with clients and community because we do a lot of philanthropic things here at CSAV. We donate to a lot of charities. And as president of the church, we're also able to bring community to the environment as well. Not only here in Colts Neck, but as I said, in multiple counties around the state and even in some cases around the world. When we shop locally, the statistics say that 78% of the dollars spent at a local shop stay within the community. When we shop at some of these bigger places, or we run to the mall or go to some of these other places outside of local facilities, they say only 38% of the money stays in the community. So the question is, do you want to build up your own community? Do you want to support your own community? And not everybody has excess dollars or excess time where they can volunteer and give money, but the simple things like shopping local have an impact not only on the local business owners and the local community, but also on you as an individual. So by shopping local, what happens? You get to know people better. You get better, typically, hopefully, you get better service, you get better support. And even if it costs a few dollars more, believe me, what's the cost of gas and mileage? When you think about, that run to the mall or the run to a faraway supermarket when you could shop local right here. And isn't it nice to walk into a shop that somebody knows your name? Isn't it nice to walk into a facility and they know ahead of time what you're looking for or what you're thinking of? And that's why we love growing the business district here, because we want to have community, local shopping experiences of all types for people to enjoy here in our community.
Thank you very much, Glen. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, go to parkbench.com/coltsneck and support your local businesses. Bye.